Clifford finding the back of the net. Cortland with the power play goal now has a 2-goal lead against the number 2 team in the country. Good evening and welcome to Dwyer Arena on the campus of Niagara University. We are set for UNYCHL D1 Playoff action. It is the semifinal round, and it is Binghamton against Cortland. Thank you so much for joining us on the Nickel City Hockey Network. I'm Aaron Elpern, alongside Ronan Hoffmaster from 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Cortland earning their spot here in the semifinals, Ronan, with a bit of a surprising result yesterday, a 2-0 shutout of the host team Niagara, a game in which starting goaltender Axel Norbro had 55 saves in a shutout where he just absolutely shut the door on Niagara. Now it's the next challenge in line for them. It is the Binghamton Bearcats, who come off a bye as the winner of the East Division, setting up to be a good matchup in what will be the fourth time that these two teams play this year, Ronan.
It was an absolute incredible game from Axel, and they're going to need him again today because this is a high-powered offense from Binghamton, and I think this is going to be an incredible game. It's going to be fun to watch.
And Norbro was in net for Cortland when they had their other big win this year. That was earlier on this month when they beat St. Bonaventure on February 4th. Now is the opportunity to take on the third highly ranked UNYCHL opponent, and it comes in the semifinal round. The chance to play for the UNYCHL championship. Ready for the national anthem? Let's head down to ice level as we get ready to start things off here in this semifinal matchup between Binghamton and Cortland. For the fourth time this season, it will be Cortland and Binghamton, but this time it is the most important game of the season. This one comes in the playoffs in the UNYCHL semifinal round, and this is an opportunity for both teams to win what would be their first UNYCHL title. This is something that has been a little bit of a thorn in the side of the Binghamton Bearcats. They're trying to win their first league title. They're the defending AAU national champions on the national level, but this has been a tournament that has been a little bit of an issue for them. They lost in the semifinal rounds the last two seasons, the finals back in 2020. I guess sometimes there are just certain events, Ronan, that for some reason tend to be a sticking point for some teams. I don't know whether or not it's something about this event that they're not necessarily able to play as well as they have nationally. Do you think it's maybe it gets in the heads of a team possibly?
Oh, for sure. A team can definitely get in your head, and you just got to somehow move past it. It's not definitely easier said than done, but they definitely can get in your head, and they're going to try to move past that today for sure.
All right, underway here in the early going of our first semifinal matchup. It's going to be Buffalo and St. Bonaventure later on. Possibly a rush here opportunity for Cortland. First shot on goal, right on net. Save is made. Starting goaltender Peter Skidmore in net for Binghamton. Two teams now trading rush opportunities. It's Binghamton coming back in the other direction. Shot is deflected before it ends up in on the netminder. Norbro getting his first test as both goalies being asked to make saves here in the first minute. Pass through the neutral zone. A lot of pace here in the early going. Attempt to move that puck in front of the net. Doesn't get there as it was picked up by Donald Romano, and he starts to break out up the near side for Cortland. Unable to get that past the forecheck there in the neutral zone, at least in the first attempt. Now Cortland has possession of it. They have to wait just a little bit before they can go into the offensive zone. They had to tag up there on the middle of the blue line. And that gives Binghamton a chance to settle things down as they look to start their breakout up the far wall. Pass is deflected. That one's going to go the length of the ice for icing as it was deflected just short of the center ice red line. So Ronan, good early pace here to this one. A couple of opportunities at either end as well.
These are two very, very quick teams. So look at a bunch of odd man rushes. They're going to have to try to stop the odd man rushes because there's going to be a lot of them. Very quick teams.
Really, it's as much as what each of these teams wants to do offensively being in question here as much as it's how the teams will try to strategically defend that on the transition plays, making sure that they have good numbers in the back check. That was something that Cortland wanted to make sure they did in yesterday's game. Big part of why they were able to slow Niagara down, not allowing the Purple Eagles a lot of those rush opportunities. Puck comes across the blue line, then back into the zone as it's picked up and then carried through the neutral zone by Cortland, but a wall of Binghamton players there along the blue line denies the zone entry, and now Binghamton looking to counter in the opposite direction. Across the blue line is LeChance as he feeds that one to the net front, trying to get that one to Jack Stappenbeck a little bit behind the intended target. Puck on the far wall. This is Taylor. He had an assist in yesterday's game. Puck takes a funny bounce off the near wall, but it ends up on Cochran's stick. He gets it into the zone, but can't get it deep, and it's going to be Henderson picking it up and quickly starting the breakout for Binghamton. Long stretch pass in the neutral zone. That one intended for Andrew Usinski, but it doesn't get there. And it's going to be Cortland moving it back across the blue line. Player gets taken down in the neutral zone well away from the puck, and that's going to be a penalty against Cortland. It was yesterday's offensive hero for the Red Dragons, Andrew Clifford. This time he ends up taking a penalty, and it's going to be Binghamton's high-powered offense getting the chance on the power play early.
Special teams are so important, especially in playoff games. But I've noticed so far in the defensive zone, Cortland's rimming it a lot for their breakout. We'll have to see if Binghamton starts clogging the wall or what they're going to do for that, but I've noticed the rim so far. We'll see if that continues.
Testing what the Binghamton defenders are going to want to do in terms of holding their point positions. At this point now, obviously, Cortland's going to want to just clear the puck. They can't get it past the defenseman that first opportunity, but puck just sitting there, and now it's going to be skated up ice by Bianchi. Bianchi makes a move, trying to get around the defenseman here on this side. Good tight coverage there, not giving much of a gap to work with, and making sure that that really didn't come together. As now it's going to be Binghamton looking to counter, but they can't get it out of the zone. Nice play to keep it in by Christopher Hammerly. Now Binghamton finally finding some room to work it up ice. That is Usinski getting it across the blue line. Matthew Usinski, two Usinskis, the one that maybe some viewers of the UNYCHL are more familiar with. Matthew Usinski, the upperclassman, his brother joining the team this year, Andrew Usinski, as well as a pair of Stappenbeck brothers on this team as well. Power play is 45 seconds old now for Binghamton. Not really a whole lot going on in the offensive zone. In fact, I would say that the Red Dragons have been doing a little bit more on the offensive side of things, even though they're down a man. Justin Franks settling the pass down there on the far side. Sends it back down below the goal line as the power play still just ticking away here, and none of the Binghamton players seem to be showing too much urgency. Finally, they start breaking it out here on the near side. Pass comes up the near wall, settled down there by Kyle Jason, and he gets it across the blue line. Let's see if they can get their power play formation settled in. Fed down low by Cullen. Behind the net, then over to the far wall. Pressure there on the puck by Cortland, and they get the clear. 28 seconds now remaining on the penalty kill. Player loses a stick. Actually, that was there beforehand, as now skating it through the neutral zone with plenty of speed is going to be Jason. He lets a shot go. Blocker save is made, and then the floating shot on the rebound. Rolling puck gets swatted towards the netminder. Norbro makes 2 stops, and it stays a 0-0 hockey game.
First minute 40 here in the power play. Great defensive structure by Cortland here. They're not letting easy entries in for Binghamton, and they've been playing great defensively so far.
Certainly seem to be pressuring the puck as much as they can, not sitting back, being very aggressive.
Right.
Maybe that's something that they saw in their previous 3 meetings this season. Shot comes in from the point. Pad save is made by Norbro. Made 55 saves yesterday. He's already busy here early on. 3 shots on goal in the first 5 minutes. Penalty expires. Red Dragons back to full strength, but it's going to be still Binghamton working it here in the offensive zone. Another shot from the far point. That one doesn't get through. Now Cortland trying to stretch the ice. Connect on the pass, but enough harassment there as Casulo tried to take it over the blue line. Binghamton now gets a clear as we approach 5 minutes gone in the action. Back into the Cortland zone. Ryan Lethem picks it up behind his net. He's got a man on him. Shrugs off the pressure there, at least for a little bit, then drops the pass off for Higgins. Higgins with some light pressure on him from Alec Kirk. And now the Cortland breakout starting up the near side. Eventually gets out to center ice, but Binghamton forcing a turnover, now looking to counter quickly. That pass off the mark, and now Higgins carries it back through the neutral zone. Lets the shot go from the near top circle. Save is made as Skidmore gets the right leg on that one and deflects it off to the far side. Then the play from below the goal line out in front. Good quick pass as accepting that one in the mid-slot was Michael Cochran. Nice save as that was the biggest test that Skidmore's had to face so far. A point-blank opportunity from the mid-slot.
Goalies are playing extra sharp so far. They're looking great. A lot of pad-out shots here from each team, but they've been sharp.
Binghamton winning the face-off, getting the clear. Matthew Usinski looking to get that to the front of the net till a chance. Good defensive play from Haldane, making sure that one didn't get there. Loose puck in front of the Cortland bench. 2 players go to the wall trying to find possession. Eventually it comes free. Now Cortland has it here on the near side. In across the blue line and looking for a shot is Cochran. Drops it back into the slot. Good look there as he found Sarosi mid-slot area. Enough room to get a good quick snapshot away. And 2 stops again in that very same looking plays. Peter Skidmore being tested here in the first 6 minutes.
It's looking like this Cortland team is trying to come in on the right side or the left side and just throw it in front of the net. And there's been guys there both times. They're good-looking passes, good-looking shots, but Skidmore's up to the task.
And at least so far, it's been a little bit of the trailing player, not the man right in front of the goaltender. It's been a little bit further back in the slot. So the defensive zone coverage for Binghamton not only have to be focused on the front of the net, but also a little bit out towards the blue line. Binghamton trying to get an opportunity there in transition. Pass a little bit off the mark, but they now get the forecheck set up 2-on-1 down low in the near corner. Pin to the boards as this is Todorovic trying to get something set up there. I'm not sure he realized he had a numbers advantage. And it ends up allowing Cortland to clear the zone, but it's going to be settled down and brought back in across the blue line very quickly by Justin Franks. Now he puts some pressure on the defenseman in the near corner, but it's going to be moved up the far wall and through the neutral zone as Garnhart starts the breakout. Dumped in by Bianchi as Cortland making a wholesale change, so a lot of time for Henderson to start the breakout in the near corner. Circling the net, now he has some room in the mid-slot. Changes directions with the breakout and go over to the near side. Couple of passes connected on there in the neutral zone. Eventually, it's going to be Cullen dumping it into the far corner. Puck is swung around the near side as it's some pressure from McKendry in the near side, near corner. Eventually gets it along to Usinski. Andrew Usinski. Now Cullen in front. He gets tied up before he can get the shot away. Good defense there in front of the net. Might have been borderline in terms of what could have drawn a penalty, but referee's not calling it, so just good tight defense, making sure that the player didn't get free to get the shot off. Cycle play as Cortland gets set up here in the offensive zone, a little bit more than 7 minutes into the game. Cortland feeding it back down low, and now it's going to be Evan Venth looking for a passing option. Skating back and forth there on either side of the defender, but not being given a whole lot of options in terms of passes towards the front of the net or a line to skate it that way. Binghamton eventually takes it away. Now they look to get it up ice here on the near side. Kevin Cullen getting it to the red line, then dumping it in. Wholesale changes now coming from the Bearcats. Cortland working it up the far side. Good pass up the far boards from Romano, and then through the mid slot. That was Casulo, but he couldn't get free to get a shot away. And now Alec Kirk has an opportunity to skate it into the Cortland zone. Tight defense from Higgins keeps Kirk's shot from getting on goal. Cortland can't get it out of the zone, and now Kirk settles down a puck here in the near corner, trying to get away from that check of Letham. Letham plays it along, but the first one to it is going to be a member of the Bearcats, and now back to the point as they get the high-low game working, do Binghamton. Casulo taking it away. Now it's going to be Cortland trying to counter and move through the neutral zone. They might have some numbers if they're quick here. Played toward the front of the net. Sitting in front of the netminder, Skidmore. He made the play with the stick there initially. It sat in front of him for a moment before any of the Cortland players could get there. The puck was cleared, and Binghamton accepts that icing penalty. But Cortland at least starting to develop some of those opportunities off the rush, especially with those players coming in late in those trailing situations.
That was a great 3-on-2 chance. I thought he was going to drop it back for the high guy, but it was a great chip in front of the net, and the high guy almost got the rebound there, but Binghamton was able to get it out and suppress that chance.
Puck comes around the near side of the Binghamton net. They clear the zone, but it's going to be Cortland firing it right back in off the stick of Higgins. Doesn't spend a whole lot of time inside the Binghamton zone as Hugh White starts the breakout, but they're unable to get it deep in the offensive zone, and now here come the Red Dragons. Sarosi drops it off, then he gets the pass back in front of the net. Tight coverage on him after Cochran's pass was fed back towards the front of the net. Good physical play as it's Franks forcing the turnover, now starting it up ice. Pass just off the mark, and now it's going to be O'Brien starting it. A lot of room to work with here up the near side. Fires the shot on goal from the red line. Norbro handles that one with the stick and the pad. Eventually there was a player coming in for Binghamton looking for a rebound. Norbro covers it up and forces another stoppage. Coming up on 10 minutes into the first period, still awaiting that first goal. Both teams kind of testing out the other team's defense, not really seeing a whole lot being yielded yet thus far, though.
Right, and these goalies are looking just as sharp as they usually do. It'll be a tough one to score on them.
Quick play off the faceoff as Matthew Usinski tried to call his own number off the draw. It almost paid off for him. Cortland clearing the zone, but it's going to be Binghamton looking to counter very quickly here in the neutral zone. D-to-D pass, and now it's going to be Wallace moving it through the neutral zone. Deflected across the blue line by Usinski, but it's going to be Cortland looking to get it back up ice on the far side. This is Mikolas across the blue line. He's got a man driving towards the front of the net. Can't get it there in that first attempt. Eventually it comes back to the point. Now a chance as the shot came in from the near side. Bianchi had a man on the far post. Just couldn't quite get it to him. Binghamton opening it up again. Time and space to get the shot through, and it gets past the netminder, but not the goal line.
Wow.
It got to the goal line, but eventually the defenseman gets there to get it out of there. Norbro avoids giving up his first goal of the weekend, but it wasn't by a whole lot. 3-on-3 as Binghamton comes back into the offensive zone, maybe catching a little bit of life from that near miss in the offensive zone. Todorovic with the pass out towards the net front. That one doesn't get there, and it actually leaves the zone. Migliorato now looking to bring it right back in. Dumps it into the far corner. Now a race for that puck behind the net. Two Binghamton players actually both had a good look at that one. Pass ends up coming in front of the net. Norbro can't cover it, and now the puck comes free again as Binghamton goes back from high to low. Shot from the far boards. Sitting under Norbro. I'm not sure he knows where it was. It was free for a moment. Eventually was played behind the net. 9 minutes and change to go in first period play. Cortland just trying to leave the zone at this point. Romano finally gets it out. Sent deep into the offensive zone by the Red Dragons as the goaltender's out of the net, and that could create an opportunity for Braglia. He was the only one in the offensive zone, though, so really just a lot of harassment for the Binghamton goaltender, but no real threat was there, even though it might have felt like it.
He did a great job there. He lost in the corner, but he kept poking at it, and that was enough to get it out. But surge of life here from Binghamton. those were some good chances for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Looking good there.
A lot of chances being yielded in this game in general. I would say that in the first periods of both games last night, there weren't as much open play, as much opportunities, especially created in the rush. See if that's something that continues throughout this game, despite the fact that there have been those opportunities. Still no score yet as we're almost 12 minutes in. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Casulo steps in across the blue line through the defender's legs. Still has it behind the net. Tries to get that pass in front. Hit the side of the net with the pass. Didn't quite get to its target. Kept in on the far boards by Letham. Only for a moment as Binghamton plays it through the neutral zone. Getting it deep now is the forward, number 21, Connor McKendry. Binghamton really unable to do much there as they set up the forecheck pressure, but they have control of the puck in the neutral zone as Hugh White moves it through center ice. And now Letham back in his own zone looking to start the breakout. Good change of directions there, and now Cortland has some room to start that breakout through the neutral zone. But again, trying that long pass through center ice area, it seems that Binghamton is certainly camping out in that area, trying to make that one much more difficult. Binghamton now getting the cycle game set up down low. Unable to connect on that pass along the backboards, and now there's going to be a penalty coming out of the zone as the Binghamton player on the back check ended up reaching out with the stick, pulling on number 19, Casulo, and now we get the power play opportunity for the Cortland Red Dragons. We already saw a chance for Binghamton on the power play, and now we get to see whether or not Cortland's able to do anything with their man advantage.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate penalty there. Just got a stick caught up and was kind of held there. It was pretty... the penalty was definitely not needed coming out of the zone there, but it was just unfortunate, and now they got to go off this penalty.
Puck ends up sliding off the stick of Cochran and out into the neutral zone, so at least from the Binghamton's perspective, they get some help to kill off the first 10 seconds of the power play. Zach Mikolas now loading it up and skating through the neutral zone with some speed across the blue line, one-on-one through the slot. Eventually he takes the shot. I don't know if it got cleanly through on the netminder or if the defenseman got that with the skate. Eventually it settled down and cleared. 30 seconds now gone in the Binghamton penalty. Pass from Hammerly to Mikolas in the neutral zone. That one doesn't connect. Maybe a 2-on-1 coming in the other direction. Pass through the slot just a little bit behind the intended target, as that was Justin Franks on the far side. Had to reach back in order to accept it, just couldn't quite get it cleanly. Still more time ticking away in the Binghamton penalty as the pass goes to the far side. Now Ravinsky drops it off right in front of the Cortland bench. Mikolas with a toe drag there at center ice. Finally getting it across the blue line as he makes the pass to Hammerly. Hammerly to Mikolas, and he slides it right across the goal line, right through the net front, and it ends up being carried out of the zone, and it's going to be Todorovic looking for the shorthanded opportunity. Unable to get a whole lot on that shot as it was handled by the glove hand of Norbro, and it stays a 0-0 hockey game, but just like the Binghamton power play, not a whole lot going on with the Cortland man advantage.
Right, they're both playing great penalty kills so far, and I just want to say, what an unbelievable play by Skidmore to realize when he had the puck covered that he could just give it to the corner to his defenseman for a quick clear. Most goalies would just cover that, so that was a great play by him.
Oftentimes, if you are able to avoid your first instinct, that could end up doing exactly what your team needs. Most goaltenders, they just have the first instinct and they go with it, which is the way that they're taught in a lot of ways. Anytime you're second-guessing yourself, it could lead to some issues.
Right.
Good of him there to realize in that situation that he had a little bit more time and some opportunity to kill off some of the penalty. Offsides along the blue line, now just 36 seconds remaining on the Cortland power play. Puck is cleared through the neutral zone by Cullen. That kills off some more time as it's going to be Taylor inside the Cortland zone looking to start it up ice. He eventually gets it to Clifford. He had a power play goal in yesterday's win. Had a good opportunity there after his pass didn't get to its intended target. Came right back to him. Goaltender was out of the net for just a little bit there, and there was a line to get that shot on goal. I think it might have caught the crossbar.
I think if that was any part of the on net, that was going in, so... Lucky break there for Binghamton.
Casulo into the offensive zone, but he's 1-on-4 with Cortland changing. Still gets a good shot away, can't find the cage with it, but he certainly had enough elevation on it to find a top corner, just a little bit too much to get it on goal. Binghamton penalty has expired as they now look for an offensive zone opportunity. Matthew Usinski's pass through the slot doesn't quite connect, and now back in the other direction come the Red Dragons. Evan Venth gains the red line and dumps it in. Now looking to put some pressure on here in the near corner. Fed to the far side by Wallace as Binghamton trying to get it out on that far wall, but the pass comes through the slot, and it's going to be Braglia looking for something here in the offensive zone for the Red Dragons. Pass towards the mid-slot area. Venth with a backhand shot that misses the net. Puck is then cleared out of the zone. Now Matthew Usinski with some speed up the left wing wall. Takes a hit but keeps possession. Usinski then tries to get that pass in front. He had a chance coming late on the play. Couldn't quite connect with him. Kept in at the far point, however, as Binghamton, again, we talked about how a lot of times Cortland has settled for just trying to rim the puck out of the zone. In that case there, and a couple times in the last 5 minutes or so, Binghamton has gotten over and made that adjustment to make sure the puck doesn't leave the zone.
Right.
In this case, though, it is Mikolas getting it across the blue line, now skating it into the Binghamton territory. Comes free to Hammerly just inside the blue line. His shot doesn't get through. He had a screen in front, ends up hitting a defenseman, and now it's Andrew Usinski dumping it in for Binghamton as we approach 4 minutes to go in first period play. Ravinsky tries to step around one Binghamton forechecker, but can't get it out of the zone. Now it's deep in that far corner. Andrew Usinski with a man on him, but he feeds it down low to Cullen. Cullen's backhand pass towards the front of the net. It gets in front of Norbro as he tried to keep it behind the goal. Had to deal with a chance in tight as, again, Binghamton keeps the puck in on the far side. Actually, this is a delayed offsides. Not sure that the Binghamton players realized it. They're going to be penalized with the intentional offsides, though.
That was a tough break. Couldn't really see it from here. From here, it almost looked like he did keep it in, but the linesman was right there, so got to trust him for that one.
Our broadcast today made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility, simulators, lessons, and leagues. Buffalo Golf and Social, the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. Locations downtown and in Orchard Park. Book your next event at Buffalo Golf and Social. So Binghamton try that at the other side, that little quick play to yourself off the faceoff. See if the defensive zone centers try to tie up a little bit more, as Casulo just took it right to the net front on that last exchange. Binghamton, in this case, wins the faceoff, and they clear the zone. Alec Kirk unable to get to that loose puck in the neutral zone. Cortland sending it right back in. That one was dangerous as it bounced in front of Skidmore. Very casual with it was the Binghamton netminder. Binghamton breakout doesn't succeed on the far side and is kept in by Cortland. Pass doesn't get to the front of the net, though, as now looking to set something up against the near wall is going to be Haldane. Two different Binghamton players knock him off the puck, and now Alec Kirk's looking to try to get it out of the zone, but Haldane picks up a loose puck and fires it towards the net front. Save is made by Skidmore, as that's already the 10th shot on goal for Cortland. Drop pass, nobody there, as it was Alec Kirk looking for a trailer. Back in the other direction come the Red Dragons. Haldane lets a shot go, save with the shoulder by Skidmore, as at least here in the middle portion of the period as we get towards the second half of it, certainly looking like Cortland finding their legs after last night's big win and realizing that they can play with just as much confidence against this Binghamton team.
Right.
There's an opportunity in front. Is two chances for Binghamton. Puck is still free in front of Norbro as he eventually gets it covered. A couple of players from Binghamton right at the net front as they get the bodies in front of the netminder, making it tough for him to see those shots clearly. Maybe a little bit more difficulty than he saw in last night's game. But at least in that exchange, Norbro able to keep that puck out of the net. But certainly seeing Binghamton throwing everything they have in front of him. Grew circling the net for Binghamton as he looks to get something set up on the far side. Gets it to Franks, who takes a shot from distance. Norbro has some difficulty handling that one. There was a rebound sitting in front of him there for a moment. If they would have had that same kind of traffic they did before, right, that could have been a good opportunity. Sarosi takes a big hit in front of his own bench. Puck comes free on the near side. Cortland leaving the zone, but they can't connect on the pass. Todorovic switching sides, and now Henderson dumps it in. Deflected behind the net by the goaltender Norbro, and now Higgins looking to get it away from one of the forecheckers. Switching sides allows Sarosi to have a little bit of room in the neutral zone. That pass a little bit too far for its intended target, poked into the offensive zone by Andrew Clifford. Puck comes free to Matthew Usinski. He sends it into the offensive zone as we approach a minute and a half to go in first period play. Just like last night's game with Cortland, nobody scored in that game's first period. In fact, it wasn't until third period play that either team was able to break through. Obviously, with the 2-0 shutout for Cortland, it was the Red Dragons that finally found the back of the net in that game. So not necessarily surprised to see this one going scoreless for as long as it has. Approaching a minute to play as Lethem picks it up in the far corner. Just a high floating pass through the neutral zone. Nobody really there to accept that one. And now it's going to be Migliorato getting it up ice quickly. Mishandled there as it was carried in across the blue line. And now it's going to be Migliorato with that second opportunity to get it into the offensive zone. He had a man in front, tried to get it across to Usinski. Just a little bit of a player in between, keeping that one from coming together cleanly. 42 seconds remaining in the period. Cortland trying to work it through the neutral zone there, but good neutral zone coverage as Binghamton is trying to, at least in this shift, clog the zone, making the middle of the ice difficult for Cortland to get through, and it's given them a couple of opportunities to force turnovers and get some offense going themselves. Puck goes off the far boards, and then McKendry gets it deep. Still 20 seconds to go in the period. Cullen putting some pressure on in the near corner. McKendry joins him. Two Cortland players, though, coordinate to manage to get the puck out of the zone. Now just 10 seconds to go in the frame as Mikolas goes for a change. They could have maybe set something up there in the neutral zone, but Cortland now trying to get to the end of the period here, playing a little bit of defense here in the near corner. The horn goes. A couple of pushes being given back and forth from either side. Nothing coming from that, and that will bring first period play to a close. Good pace in the early going, then it kind of slowed down there in the middle of the period. What did you see there for the first 20 minutes, Ronan?
Right, it was great pace in the first half. Then each team's kind of settling in. I saw a lot of Cortland going to the outside, bringing it behind the net, and throwing it in front. A lot of their offense is just throwing the puck in front of the net, hoping there's a guy there. And I noticed Binghamton's kind of more structured and a lot more passing and getting shots. So it'll be interesting to see who can get the first goal and which one of these goaltenders will give up one, because it's going to be very difficult on these guys.
All right, our broadcast today brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 856-2872 or militello.com. We're going to step away here for the first intermission. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with period number 2. You're watching live coverage of the UNYCHL D1 Playoffs on the Nickel City Hockey Network.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready?
And welcome back to Dwyer Arena on the campus of Niagara University, set for second period action in the UNYCHL D1 semifinals. Cortland and Binghamton deadlocked 0-0 after one period of play. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern alongside Ronan Hoffmaster in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. 13-6 shots on goal in first period play in favor of Binghamton, but neither team able to break through in that first period. Ronan, what sort of adjustments might need to be made here in second period action for one of these two sides to maybe take a little bit of an edge in this game?
I just believe you got to keep firing the puck. Cortland is getting a lot of pucks to the net. I know Binghamton has more shots, but I believe Cortland has had more chances so far. They're thrown in front, and there's been guys, and I think Skidmore's been very, very strong so far, so we'll see how it goes.
Underway here in second period action. Puck just inside the Cortland blue line. Pass comes into the neutral zone, intercepted by Grew. Able to get that back into the offensive zone, but he had to wait a moment before he would have been offsides on the play. Puck sent into the Binghamton zone as the Bearcats looking to get it out here on the near wall. Pair of players from each side vying for possession here in the near corner. It eventually comes free. Now Binghamton with a chance to move it out of the zone. They do get it across the blue line. Ravinsky now getting stripped of that puck, and Grew looking for an opportunity on the rush. He had a man trailing on the play. Couldn't get it to Justin Franks, however. Mikolas's pass goes off a skate, and that allows Perry to pick it up. Perry now gets it across ice. O'Brien's pass is too far, but it's no icing on the play. Good hustle there by Justin Grew. Grew and Ravinsky battling for possession in the far corner. LaChance comes over to gain possession as well. Wraparound attempt, good save made as in tight. That was Jack Stappenbeck getting the shot away. Norbro having to make the save on the doorstep opportunity from the Binghamton forward. Hammerly losing control of that puck just before he gained the offensive zone. Puck here against the near wall. Shots taken from the mid slot. Good hard wrist shot, letting that one go. Cole Haldane, good save there by Skidmore as he has to deal with the first tough test of second period action. 2-on-1 down low, but that play ends up being short-circuited by an offsides call. A little bit delayed on the whistle as it was starting to come together there in front of the Cortland net. Red Dragons avoid the opportunity in front of their goal with the offsides call, and we get the stoppage in play a minute and a half into the period.
That was looking like a great chance for Binghamton there, 2-on-1. He had either a nice shot in close or a pass across, and luckily it was offside for Cortland.
Norbro covering that one up, and we get another stoppage. Face-off this time coming up deep in the Cortland zone. Our broadcast this evening brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Visit Envious Gameware to get your team a look to be envious of. Clean breakout there for Cortland. Pass doesn't connect in the neutral zone, but they do manage to keep possession. Now they gain the offensive zone, but good tight defense. Binghamton keeping their gap control as tight as they possibly can just inside their own blue line, not allowing Cortland an opportunity to get it deep. Higgins in his own zone, fans on a pass, and LaChance has a golden opportunity, but it looked like he was maybe a little bit rushed on that play when he didn't need to be in a hurry. Didn't end up getting a very good shot away. Norbro still had to make one stop, and then a second shot comes in from the point from Wallace. Binghamton now looking to put some pressure on. They're on the far side. Two players engage with two different Cortland players, and they get the puck free. Henderson almost getting that rebound off the backboards as he jumped in from his point position. Puck sent in across the blue line. Ryan Letham setting it up there and going D-to-D with Higgins. Higgins off the near boards, and now Taylor connects on a pass in the middle of the ice. Here come the Red Dragons across the blue line, trying to get it towards the slot to Sorosi, but the defense converges and makes sure that there isn't a whole lot of room to work with in the middle of the ice. Good tight defense in the area of the defensive zone where they need to be tight. Binghamton intercepting a pass. Henderson sending it about as high into the air as you possibly can without hitting the absolute top of the roof. It does end up well over the glass and into the rafters on the far side. We're going to have the faceoff coming all the way back to this side of the ice in the neutral zone as the referee goes and collects the puck, and now two pucks are on the ice. They eventually get that sorted out. Faceoff will be right below our broadcast position along the Cortland blue line. That was quite the flip there from Henderson. Players on the far wall as the puck is pinned to the boards. Eventually it's going to be Sorosi getting it free and flipping it into the neutral zone. That one too far for Clifford, but he puts some pressure on the defenseman just inside the Binghamton blue line. That allows the Red Dragons to force a turnover. Clifford now across the blue line, goes wide around the defenseman using his long reach and big frame to get free. Puck comes in front to Sorosi. He had a moment there to get the shot away, but the time wasn't there for long as good tight defense closing off that gap was Nicholas Perry. Puck comes to Sorosi in front of the net again. Almost had a chance to get that one settled, but it's going to be the Bearcats countering and trying to get it up ice. Good play cutting off that lane. Andrew Bianchi unable to get that pass connected on in the neutral zone, but tight defense just inside the blue line. I think both teams have been good at that, making sure that they deny deep entries into the zone. They've been giving up maybe the blue line, but once you get inside the offensive zone, the pressure is coming a little bit quicker from the defenseman than maybe some of the offensive players are expecting.
Right, they've both been very structured in the defensive zone. That was a great looking play by Cortland, tic-tac-toe, but even better defensive play tying up in front.
Cortland getting their breakout going again pretty cleanly as Sorosi dumps it into the offensive zone. He was short of the middle ice, center ice red line. No icing call coming. Allows Cortland to make a change. Meanwhile, it's going to be carried in through the neutral zone and then dumped it by Kyle Jason. He's the first one to it behind the net as well. Jason back to the point to O'Brien. O'Brien has to dig it out of his skates. Fans on a pass, but still settles it down and gets it down low. Now Jason in the far corner. Cycle game here as Hoffler and Jason switch it from side to side in the corners. Hoffler now putting some pressure on Ravinsky. Second player joins the fray and Binghamton forces a loose puck. Now Hoffler looking for a passing option. Gets it behind the net. Jason's there as he's got a man right on him. Binghamton keeping possession, but they can't get the puck to the front of the net. Eventually they do. Skinner with a chance. Save is made by the shoulder of Norbro. Good shift here from this Binghamton line as they have some extended time in the offensive zone. Braglia relieves some of that pressure by flipping it to the neutral zone. Jack O'Brien picks it up there for Binghamton. The Bearcats get it right back in across the blue line. Binghamton now making a change as the breakout starts up the near side. Skinner tries to get it towards the net front area, but he can't manage to connect on that pass. Cortland clearing the zone, and Braglia almost stripping the defenseman there just inside the Binghamton blue line. A little bit more than 5 minutes into second period play, still awaiting the game's first goal. Both teams creating plenty of chances, haven't gotten one past either of the netminders. 2-on-1 maybe setting up here, ends up being a 2-on-2. Great back check. Zach Mikolas doing exactly what his team needed him to. 2 or 3 good hard strides to keep that 2-on-1 from happening. Good hustle there on the other end of the ice, and now it could be an opportunity for Mikolas as he rejoins the play. Gets it down low, trying to find Hammerly, who has it, and then he gets the pass towards the front of the net again, trying for that play from down low towards the mid-slot. Almost got to Hurahan right in between the hash marks. Back into the Binghamton offensive zone. This is Justin Grew accepting that pass as he's got it free of the defenseman, tried to get it out in front of the net. He had Justin Franks there, but good tight defensive coverage kept Franks from being able to accept that pass. As again, much like in the first period, about 5 minutes in, game starts to open up for a period of time. Mikolas getting some time and space, and now he has 2 trailers coming in as well. Hurahan gets it down low, shot off the post from Sorosi. Another opportunity as Binghamton is now looking to counter and create something of their own. Unable to get it deep in the offensive zone, but it comes to Henderson at center ice, and he sends it back down into the offensive end. 13:33 to go in second period action as it's LeChance against the near boards, pinning his man to the glass and forcing a turnover as now Binghamton has it in the neutral zone. Perry quickly getting it deep into the near corner. Picked up by Letham. Quickly up the far side and then banked off the far boards into the neutral zone by Haldane. Taylor gets to it in the offensive zone. He's got a trailer coming in late. Haldane winds up that slap shot. Maybe a bit of a rolling puck. Couldn't find the net with that shot. Back into the neutral zone where Taylor settles it down. Accepting that pass again here against the near boards, and a good clean look as he finds Haldane in the neutral zone. Haldane across the blue line, cutting towards the slot and letting the shot go. Looked like it got deflected or maybe tied up as he let it go. It never ended up on goal, but it's going to be Casulo putting pressure on in the far corner. He gets that one out to the slot, shot from distance. Save is made by the right pad of the netminder after Romano let that one go. Cortland getting some more activity in the offensive zone as it goes from the far side to the mid-slot. Taylor lets a good hard snapshot go. Another save is made by Skidmore as the opportunities continue to increase here in second period play.
So I talked about earlier how Cortland's getting it to the outside and throwing it in front and looking for a guy. Now they're just absolutely moving the puck perfectly here, and they've had a lot of good chances off the moving puck.
Starting to see the adjustments on both sides taking hold. Shot from distance again. There was a rebound after them. Goes off the shoulder of Skidmore. Binghamton getting the clear. Now a foot race for it into the Cortland zone. It just barely goes far enough for icing. Get a stoppage in play now with 12:20 to go in second period action. And our broadcast today brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Face-off to the right of Skidmore. Face-off is won. The shot is then taken by Clifford. I don't know if he was free enough of the defender to get a good shot away. Maybe about 50% of power on that one, but still Skidmore had to make the save. Make sure there's no second chance opportunity. Face-off coming from that same dot in the Binghamton zone. This time Clifford gets a bit more on that shot after that same face-off play is executed. Skidmore makes another save. Shots are now up to 15-12 in favor of Binghamton. Back in the other direction, it's McKendry with the cross-corner dump. Quickly, though, navigating that forecheck was Mason Garnhart, and Cortland clears the zone, but they have to do some work at center ice in order to get possession again and send it right back in. Cochran going to the bench for a change, and now Binghamton gets it back into the Cortland zone. Norbro sees the offensive player coming into the zone with some speed, so he covers that one up for a whistle. 11:45 to go in the second period. Approaching the halfway point in this game. What's it going to take for one of these teams to break through and get the game's first goal?
Well, I think at this point it's going to be a post and in shot, because we've had some post and out so far, but these goalies have been super strong, and there's been some good chances. I feel like it's coming soon.
Well-controlled rebound there from Norbro as he angles it off to the far corner. Sent down low, and now Lethem looks to start it up the near boards. Two different Binghamton players at least get in his way for the first attempt, and he does get it across the blue line, but it's going to be Binghamton finding possession, looking to send it right back in. Mikolas deflecting that one into the offensive zone. Set up by the goaltender Skidmore. Defenseman falls down in the play, but he still manages to make the pass, and here come the Bearcats up the near side. Dumped in by Skinner, and now it's going to be Higgins picking it up over to the near side to Mikolas, but he can't get it out of the zone. Shot from distance, deflected late. That was Kyle Jason getting enough of that deflection on the shot coming in from Henderson. Didn't get the deflection on the goal, but certainly made sure it changed directions. Floated through the neutral zone, and quickly on that one is Wallace. Almost too many men on the ice there for Cortland as the player coming off the bench had the puck in his skates. It still ends up resulting in an opportunity for Binghamton in transition. It was a 3-on-2 that came together, and they end up getting the shot on goal from about 15 feet in front of Norbro. Has to make the save with the right arm. He pins it to his chest. Make sure that there's no second chance there for Binghamton, but the action continuing to stay back and forth on each end of the ice here in the second. Cortland wins the face-off, and they change it from the far side to the near side. And now some pressure being put on against the near boards. Two different Cortland players there. Some good work by the defenseman, Nicholas Perry, not to panic too much with that pressure and force an unwarranted pass. Good physicality there by Cortland as they are at least slow down the rush into the offensive zone. But Binghamton gets it from down low to up high. The shot comes in on goal. It was up in the air for a moment, knocked out of midair, so we have the stoppage in play with that puck being knocked out of the sky by one of the Cortland players. Faceoff's going to stay in the Cortland zone, and the Red Dragons will make some changes here as we approach the halfway point in second period play.
Good pressure here by Cortland in the last few minutes. Norbro has had to make some sharp saves here, staying strong, and just keep throwing pucks to the net.
Binghamton winning the face-off. Grew feeds it down low to Franks. Franks with two men on him, so he slides it along to Todorovic. Todorovic gets it away from one defender, but two more come to meet him here in the near corner. Waiting for some help there from another forechecker. Eventually that puck is chipped loose, and now it's going to be Casulo banking it off the far glass to get it out of the zone. Binghamton making some changes as they have to tag up to avoid the offsides. Max Taylor dropping that one to Ravinsky, and now back to Taylor. Pass into the middle of the ice. Casulo with a man on him has to swing at it a couple of times before he can advance the puck. And now it's going to be Cortland finally dumping that one in as the Red Dragons make a couple of changes on the far side. Pass is intercepted by Haldane. Haldane then finds Clifford as he gets it into the offensive zone. As we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, he was the hero yesterday, had both goals for Cortland. combining with the netminder Axel Norbro to pull the upset on Niagara yesterday. See whether or not Clifford is part of the recipe for success in this game for Cortland again. Clifford makes a pass there along the near wall. Sorosi makes sure it gets into the corner, now putting some pressure on the forecheck. Comes free to Cochran, but he can't maintain possession. Now Jack O'Brien flips it into the neutral zone. Good aggressive play from the defender stepping up into that lane. Bianchi making sure at least for a moment Cortland kept possession. Icing gets waved off here. Good hustle by Matthew Usinski. Might give Binghamton a chance to set something up here offensively. Usinski's pass towards the front of the net. That one doesn't get to Hugh White. But it's going to be Binghamton finding possession with LaChance on the far side. He gets it to Matthew Usinski. Now back to the point. The shot comes in. A little bit of difficulty handling that one from Norbro after Henderson let the shot go from the left point. Eventually, Norbro figured out where that puck was and played it to the corner. Clifford getting that puck stripped off of his stick, sent down low into the offensive zone. That was Jack Stappenbeck. Sorosi clearing the zone, then he takes a big hit into the far glass, sacrificing the body to make a play and get the puck out. Now Sorosi heads to the bench for a change. Henderson letting a shot go from the near boards. That one seemed to handcuff Norbro a little bit. Wasn't the cleanest of saves, and there have been a couple like that today where he's made the stop, but there have been maybe a little bit of a surprising rebound offer.
Right, that was kind of a tough one from the hash marks in the corner there. He just let one rip. It was in a good spot, but Norbro had his glove right there, had to cover it.
Binghamton again winning another offensive zone faceoff, and they get something set up down low. This is McKendry against the near wall. His fellow number 21 on him, and he gets that pass along, and now it's going to be Andrew Usinski trying to feed that one in front. He had Henderson coming in from that point position, but couldn't get it through the defense to make that pass connect. Hurahan now putting pressure on in the offensive zone himself. Gets that puck free, now trying to chase it down in the near corner, but Henderson beats him to the spot, gets it free, and now here come the Bearcats in transition with some numbers. 5-on-3 essentially into the offensive zone here as it gets set up in the corner. Good out-muscled play there as Higgins squared off against his man in the corner, got the puck free and then started over to the far side, but it comes free into the slot. Binghamton almost getting a chance there as that puck sat there just in between the hash marks for a couple of seconds. Letham off the far boards. Can't get it out of the zone. Henderson steps in. Rebound opportunity cleared off to the side. Good play by Higgins, making sure that his goaltender only had to make the one save on the shot from the point. Cortland sending it back in across the blue line, but they can't get much set up in the offensive zone as maybe just a little bit of an advantage being set up here for Cortland. Binghamton they almost get that play set up. There was a 3-on-1 possibly coming together. Great defensive play from Letham to keep it from connecting. Binghamton again looking to counter, but the coordination not as good as it could have been there between Hoffler and Skinner. Comes to the near side as Cortland now tries to get something set up offensively. Puck to the near corner. As handling it there is Ryan Braglia. Over to the far side. As that is Venth and Braglia playing catch with it down below the goal line. It's Venth getting knocked down on the play, and that allows the Binghamton player Skinner to pick it up, and now he has some room to skate it on the near side. Sidesteps two different defenders and now has a lot of room in the neutral zone. Skating it across the blue line, drops the pass off for Jason. Just a little bit off the mark on that drop pass. Still Binghamton keeps possession. 6 minutes even to play in second period action. Still no score on the board yet in this fourth matchup of the season between Binghamton and Cortland. There was a lot of scoring in all of the previous affairs. 7-3, 7-4, and 3-2 being the lowest scoring of the three games previously. As they always say, things tend to tighten up in playoff hockey.
Right. Everything in playoff hockey is different. The intensity, the physicality, all the block shots, just laying down your body for the team because it could be your last.
Potential transition play to Dorovich, trying to run that one down in the offensive zone. Tried to get that pass quickly across to Justin Grew in front of the net, about a stride or two out in front of him. Dorovich now pinned to the far boards. 2-on-2 tussle for that loose puck in the corner, comes free to Dorovich. He almost had a lane to the net front. Eventually that puck does come out in front of Norbro, but it's cleared off to the side before the shot's taken from the right point. Jack O'Brien got a lot on that wrist shot. Norbro had a bit of a crowd in front of him, still managed to fight through that screen. Saw the shot enough to make a save and keep that second chance opportunity from being offered. 5:06 now remaining in the second period. Still no score yet in this matchup between Binghamton and Cortland.
These last 10 minutes, Binghamton's really showed why they're ranked number 4. They've really been showing that they're the top dogs right now, and they're trying to get one in.
Frank's in the far corner, gets it along to Grew, but there are 2 Cortland Red Dragons on him. Good battle for that loose puck in that far corner. It eventually comes to the point. Shots taken. That one changed directions late. I don't know who it hit in front, but it went from about chest high to about hip high, and Norbro had to make sure he made the adjustment to make the save there. Good work to make sure he tracked that one. Score stays tireless. Score stays tireless. Tie score remains.
Norbro has been absolutely incredible so far. Just so many deflections, and he's stopped every single one. He's been up for the task, and he just keeps moving forward.
Slow change here coming from Cortland as a player needs a fresh stick. While we have a moment, we'll remind you that our broadcast brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Cortland winning the faceoff cleanly. Bianchi with the long pass through the neutral zone as they try to stretch the ice quickly and at least get the defenseman to back out of the zone, if nothing else. Binghamton trying to get it back into the offensive zone themselves, but they're going to be guilty of an icing, so the faceoff will come 200 feet back to the zone to our left, and it will be to the right of the netminder Skidmore. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. EnviousGameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Faceoff is won by Binghamton, and they try to stretch the ice off the faceoff just like Cortland did in that last exchange. Takes a couple of different passes to get out of the zone, and now brought back in by Clifford. Clifford with the backhand towards the net front. 2 players going towards that post. The Binghamton defenseman getting the forward from Cortland tied up, ends up knocking the net off the moorings. 4:21 now remaining. Binghamton making a couple of changes on the back end. In a game that stays scoreless for this long, does that put extra pressure on the defensemen that are on the ice to maybe want to try to jump into the play and create something, but you also have to kind of keep in mind that can't make any mistakes on your own end? For sure.
I think if you're a defenseman here, you're going to almost want to stay back more because, you know, if you step in and they have an odd man rush and they score, it's kind of all on you. So you really don't want that as a defenseman. You got to probably stay back, so there's going to be almost less offense for a defenseman.
4 minutes remaining in the period as the puck comes back through the neutral zone. 2 defensemen, Perry and Migliorato, playing catch with it along their own blue line. Eventually they get it up ice, and now Stappenbeck has to battle as Mikolas there in the neutral zone managed to take it away from him, then get it into the offensive zone for the Red Dragons. Not much of a forecheck set up there as they were making a change on the far side, and that gives Binghamton the opportunity to clear the zone. Now LeChance here in the offensive zone. Cross-ice pass, and now Migliorato looking towards the slot. Shot taken there by Jack Stappenbeck. Maybe just didn't quite have the angle to get the proper shot on goal. Low to high, and the shot's taken from the point by Perry. That one got deflected about 5 feet in front of Norbro. The deflection ended up going just wide. Binghamton continue to set up that low-high game. I think they're trying to get some of those plays set up, and they've managed to do so a couple of times getting those deflections. Breakaway potentially setting up here. This is Andrew Usinski. Gets behind the defenseman, had just a little bit of pressure coming from behind, and that allows Norbro a little bit of help there to make the save. But this time, there's no way to get some help, and it's put into the back of the net. Connor McKendry breaks the seal. It's 1-0 Binghamton as the Bearcats are on the board. The second chance opportunity for McKendry, and the Bearcats break the seal and take the lead.
Norbro did all he could there, just unrelenting pressure from Binghamton, and too many rebounds, getting to too many loose pucks, and they finally got one home.
So it's Binghamton finally breaking the ice, 1-0 with 2:56 to go in second period action. Their 25th shot on goal of the game. Finally, we see the back of the net found in this one. Binghamton Bearcats looking to get themselves an opportunity to play for the UNYCHL Championship. They haven't been to the UNYCHL Championship game in 4 years, and they've never won the title. Getting a little bit closer to that goal as now it's going to be Jason carrying it in, looking to gain some momentum from that game's first goal. Puck is flipped out of play. We get a stoppage now, 2:32 remaining in second period action. Definitely a little bit of extra energy from the team in white.
Definitely feel like Binghamton's having all the momentum right now, especially after that goal. Getting them extra pumped up, and I know they want another one.
Still plenty of time in this period to potentially add to that lead. Obviously, Cortland's going to want to get back to even before they go to the locker room. Shot again coming in from the point. That one gets redirected about halfway there. Unable to find the net with the redirection, but that does seem to be part of the strategy coming together for Binghamton. Gain control of the pucks down low, feed them to the dangerous defenseman at the point, and then get traffic in front. Already at least 3 or 4 times here in this period, they've managed to set up those plays and get good redirections there from the mid-slot area. Cortland now getting it back to the other side of the rink and making some changes on the back end. Not able to get much forecheck set up here as Cortland now back into their own zone defensively. Justin Grew for Binghamton putting the pressure on in the far corner. He drops it for Franks. Franks with a defender on him, cycles it back down low. Todorovic takes a shot. Save is made by Norbro. There was a rebound in front of him. Good play that by the defenseman for Cortland, making sure that the man waiting for that rebound was tied up and couldn't get a shot away. Minute 30 to go in the period. Quickly into the offensive zone is Franks, and he gets it right to the net front, gets right to the netminder who makes a shoulder save before he takes some contact from the fast-moving Binghamton forward, as it does definitely seem like the energy level has picked up for the Binghamton side. They're looking for that second one before the horn sounds to end second period play.
Binghamton somehow looks even quicker than they have before, and they're just unrelenting right now, just throwing everything to the net and just easy zone entries right now and looking good for them.
Again, they get that shot in from the point. That was Nicholas Perry letting it go. Blocker save made by Norbro. As now Binghamton clearing the zone before they can set up that forecheck pressure. Ravinsky has some room to make a pass. Cortland can't get it out there. A little bit sloppy with that exchange. Ravinsky again below his own goal line as we approach a minute to play in the period. Just some light pressure here from Binghamton as maybe they seem to be poised to allow Cortland to make some mistakes in the neutral zone. They do force a turnover at center ice, and they get it into the offensive zone again. Ravinsky with 2 men on him tries to force that puck up the near side. LeChance taking it away. Ravinsky might get a chance to get free, though, as he skates it through the middle of the ice. Clifford finds that loose puck in support, and now Clifford across the blue line. Good poke check by Migliorato to knock him off that puck, and then the puck comes back through the neutral zone into the Cortland end. 2 players go to the corner, and possession is gained. Quick sauce pass across and knocking it out of midair and almost getting that one on goal was Hoffler, as the Binghamton side swarming here in the offensive zone. They've gained a lot of momentum from that goal here in the second period, and they don't seem to be satisfied with only one. Matthew Usinski looking for a late period chance, gets around one defender and lets a good hard shot go. Norbro makes a shoulder save. The rebound was there for a moment. Binghamton unable to get that second opportunity. Pass comes from below the goal line out towards the slot. Binghamton trying to get one last opportunity, but they really piled up the shots in that period, now up to 29 for the game. 29-12 is the shot total in favor of the Bearcats. They also have the more important 1-0 lead in terms of goals finding the back of the net.
Like you said, Binghamton was absolutely swarming there, especially towards the end of the period. They finally got one in, and they're just looking so sharp and just quicker right now. It seems like they just want it more, so hopefully Cortland can come out and make some adjustments and have the speed that they came out in the first period with.
So after last night's battle to take down Niagara, it's now Cortland that finds themselves trailing tonight here against Binghamton. Binghamton maybe a little bit of a fresher team, starting to maybe see that, the fact that they got the bye. They didn't have to play yesterday. Cortland, obviously, they were in action, and they knocked Niagara off. Maybe the fresher team is having the advantage here in this one, at least so far. Still 20 minutes more to play here from Dwyer Arena on the campus of Niagara University. We'll be back for third period action in about 10 minutes. You're watching live coverage of the UNYCHL Playoffs on the Nickel City Hockey Network.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
I created Buffalo Golf and Social for one reason: to create a space that's different and unique from any other golf facility you've ever been to. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to enjoy. You ready? People ask, what is Buffalo Golf and Social? Buffalo Golf and Social is anything you want it to be. It can be the best instruction. It can be a vibe. It can be a hangout with your friends, running a simulator for 4 hours, playing your own playlist, and putting a game up on the TV. We are about everything and anything pertaining to golf. And most importantly, we are trying to build a community of players and a community of people who love and are dedicated to the game.
And welcome back to Lewiston, New York, Dwyer Arena on the campus of Niagara University. It is the UNYCHL D1 Playoffs, the semifinal round, about set for third period action between Binghamton and Cortland. It is a 1-0 Binghamton lead after 40 minutes of play. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern alongside Ronan Hoffmaster in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. And it seemed like in that second period, Ronan, Binghamton started to exert a bit of control here in this game. They only have the 1-goal lead, but they might have some of the all-important momentum as we come into the third period.
Right, I believe they have all the momentum right now. They're unrelenting there, especially at the end of the last 5 minutes of that period. And Cortland's got to come out flying here because I know Binghamton will be, and because they definitely want to close out this lead and get to that finals and win the first championship in a while.
Axel Norbro, the goaltender for Cortland, is going to be a big part of things if Cortland's going to be able to come back in this one. He's why they're here in this game to begin with. He had a 55-save shutout last night. He's been phenomenal in this game, making 28 of 29 stops so far. He's going to have to continue his stellar play if Cortland's going to have an opportunity here in this game, but they're going to have to do something here early on in this period to slow down this Binghamton attack. They really started to find their stride, especially late in second period play.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good ending here if Cortland can come out here flying and give Norborough a chance to win this game.
It is only a 1-goal deficit, and anything can happen in 20 minutes of hockey. We're underway in third period action. Thank you so much for joining our broadcast here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Puck is sent over the glass and into the seats in front of our broadcast position. Fans making sure that they get out of the way and flipped back into play by the young lady in front of us here, back Perfect and ready for the face-off here in the Binghamton zone. I would have kept that. I don't know why. We often see this in college games, high school games, youth games as well. Pucks go up into the stands. Oftentimes they're those nice logoed pucks. I don't know why fans are so quick to throw them back into play like they don't have a nice steady diet of them waiting for the rest of the game.
Right. There's some sweet pucks. I'm surprised as well.
They're expensive, too, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
First minute of play here in third period action. Cortland executing a breakout pass, but they can't get it deep in the zone. Hurahan getting ridden off of that one. As now it's going to be the Bearcats looking to get something going in the offensive zone themselves. Player falls down in the play. Meanwhile, Grew gets pinned to the boards, but a sloppy pass on the far side almost late yields an opportunity for LaChance. Just overskates the puck a little bit, and now Cortland sending it into the near corner. As putting some pressure on there is the forward Cole Haldane. D-to-D pass, and now White plays it up the near boards. That one goes off the skate of LaChance, but he was on his team's side of the center ice red line. So that one's going to be an icing infraction against Binghamton. As our broadcast tonight brought to you by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Simulators, lessons, and leagues, Buffalo Golf and Social is the area's best destination for year-round practice and instruction. See if Cortland can get something set up off the face-off here. A little set play to themselves, as we've seen that a bunch of times in this game. Casulo earlier on in the game tried it. He almost pulled it off right there. Rebound is sitting in front of the netminder. It was there for a couple of moments after the shot was taken from the high slot. Save was made by Skidmore. Finally, he covers that one up. And at least here in the early going, Cortland has got some life in the third.
I was just about to say here, Aaron, if you're Cortland, you want to use all your face-off plays here in the third period. Just use them all up because you really need it. You need a goal here off the draw.
Casulo wins the drawback this time. Quick shot is taken. That one dings off the post. Max Taylor letting a good snapshot go. Just couldn't get it close enough to the inside of the iron to have that one go in. Shots taken from the far dot. Another save by Skidmore. Good start to the period. First minute and 40 seconds here almost. Has been good first two shifts for Cortland. Let's see if this next group can keep that momentum going. Both teams making some changes.
Cortland's doing exactly what I hoped they did. They're coming out with speed. They want this again, and they're looking good.
This time it's Binghamton winning the faceoff, and they flip it into the neutral zone. Foot race for that loose puck as it comes free to the defenseman Bianchi. Cortland countering and getting it right back into the offensive zone, forcing Binghamton to go back and play some defense. Errant pass ends up on the stick of Sirosi. Sirosi now behind the net as he banks it off the boards, trying to get it to Clifford, just a little bit too far for him. And now Andrew Usinski starts it up ice for Binghamton. Cullen dropping it off. Shots then taken from right inside the blue line, kind of toward the shoulder area of Norbro, and he has to pin that one to his midsection. Good save and a good job to make sure that that one didn't fall down in front of him with the Binghamton players coming into the zone with speed.
That was a rocket of a shot from the point there.
Puck is played to the far boards after the face-off. Binghamton defenseman leaving the zone, so that one ends up coming back to center ice. Binghamton, though, keeps possession, gaining the offensive zone blue line here on the near side. Cortland exiting the zone. Now it's going to be skated up the far side by Garnhart. Garnhart gets around one defenseman, now trying to catch that loose puck, but it's going to be taken away. Maybe a 3-on-2 setting up, actually a 3-on-3 as Mikolas comes off the bench for Cortland. Drop pass to Henderson. Good tight defense. Mikolas making sure that Henderson couldn't get that shot away without a stick in that lane, deflecting it wide. Mikolas now up the near boards as he looks to put some pressure on in the Binghamton zone. Pass is banked off the boards. Now a lot of room there for Migliorato, but he just kind of casually plays it up the wall, and now it has to retreat back into his own corner as Binghamton now looks to work it up the far side. 3 minutes into the action here in the third period. A D-to-D pass along the Cortland blue line. Can't get it into the zone, though. Good tight defense as Migliorato cut off the time and space, denying the zone entry. Comes out to throw a shoulder into his man as Cortland just dumps that one in. And now Skinner skates it through the neutral zone, gets it across the center ice red line, then dumps it in. Quick pressure on that one as it's going to be Hoffler picking up that loose puck, but he can't find anyone to get a pass to. Still has some time to put some pressure on in the far corner, but Mikolas takes that one away, stops behind the net, and now looks for that long pass option as he's got a player cutting through the neutral zone. Across the blue line is Hammerly's got a man driving towards the net, fed the pass through the defenseman's legs, just couldn't quite find Hurahan as he was driving towards the far post. Migliorato getting that one up ice to Jason, and that one's dumped in by Skinner. Binghamton making some changes so Cortland has plenty of time to start their breakout. Slowly working it up ice, though, and that gives Binghamton the opportunity to get the forecheck set up. Puck comes through the neutral zone. It goes off the stick of O'Brien. Now he banks it off the near glass, trying to get it to Grew. Grew can't get it out of the zone now. Down low as they try to set up a play in front of the netminder. That was the two forwards down low, trying to get something set up in tandem. Haldane as well as Taylor, but they just couldn't quite get it coordinated enough. Now Grew gets behind the defense, takes the shot over the blocker arm, and he finds the top corner of the net. Justin Grew has given Binghamton the 2-0 lead.
What a pass there through three guys coming up the ice, and what a finish there by Grew. Absolute beautiful play.
Yeah, not just the finish there, but the pass to get it through the crowd and behind the defense. Justin Grew making sure his team keeps the momentum they had at the end of the second period. Just when it looked like Cortland might be knocking on the door trying to get the equalizer, Binghamton stretches the ice, and Grew with the beautiful finish to make it a 2-0 hockey game.
Right, just like that, Cortland was having a lot of pressure, and then Binghamton comes down. Great pass through the seam, and what an even better finish.
It's the semifinal round where the Binghamton UNYCHL title hopes were dashed the last two seasons. This time, though, they have a 2-goal third-period lead. See if they can make it back up. Fed down low. Justin Franks putting the pressure on. He's got Grew there with him on the far side. Franks is the first one to it. He gets it back to Todorovic. Bounces over his stick, though. And now it's going to be an opportunity for Bianchi to start it up the right wing wall for Cortland. Braglia putting some pressure on. He throws a big hard check into O'Brien, but O'Brien still manages to get the puck out of the zone for Binghamton. Back into the Cortland zone. This is Garnhart. Garnhart with the cross-ice pass to Bianchi. Now Bianchi feeds that one up ice to the blue line. Holden Sorosi with some time and space. He dumps it into the far corner. Henderson has some room to get that one up ice, but it ends up evading Matthew Usinski. He's now there setting up some pressure on the defenseman here in the Cortland zone as we are a little bit more than 5 minutes into third period play. It was a 1-0 lead for Binghamton as this period started, but they've extended it to a 2-0 lead. Justin Grew with the breakaway goal. Binghamton again gets it into the offensive zone. They'll just settle for dumping it into the offensive zone for the rest of the third period, I would have to imagine.
Right.
The more time that they can spend with the puck 200 feet away from their net is certainly going to be a favorable situation for the team in white and green.
Totally agree. If I was Binghamton, I'd just get it deep and almost set a trap, so it's tougher for Cortland to bring the puck up the ice.
At least in this case, Cortland does get it set up in the offensive zone. The pass trying to get it from below the goal line back to the point ends up hitting the referee in the skate. And now it's going to be Binghamton taking advantage of that situation, getting it into the offensive zone, but they're making a change here, and there's a lot of room up the near side for Romano to skate it up ice. Romano's shot off the mark, but it goes off the glove of the goaltender. Pass comes in front of the net. All three of the forwards down low, and this could set up a 3-on-2 for Binghamton. Andrew Usinski makes the pass towards the slot, ended up maybe just being right between the two different passing options. I think both of the players in front looked at each other and said, well, I guess that pass is for you. Up the near wall, Hurahan accepting that pass on the forehand, but he's got a man on him. Andrew Usinski takes it away and gets that pass in front, trying to get it to McKendry. Almost connected there. McKendry in a dangerous spot there as well. Mikolas across the blue line for Cortland. Chips it towards the net front as a player gets knocked down in front of the Binghamton net. Eventually, McKendry finds possession of that puck and banks it off the boards here into the near corner. Migliorato looking for a passing option, just feeds it up the boards. Binghamton now exiting the zone. Cullen across the blue line. Slides in towards the slot area. Nothing really being offered to him there. He makes sure he gets it deep, and now the pass from down low out and towards the slot. Skinner just had to accept it with the skate. That's why he couldn't get the shot off. Shot is eventually taken by Cullen. Norbro makes the pad save. Now back to the point. O'Brien trying to get that one through the crowd. Good shot block as Mikolas didn't let that one get through. Into a passing lane is Haldane, and he tries to get it over the blue line, but good tight defense from the two Binghamton players there. Hugh White along with Skinner making sure that that was a difficult zone entry. Jason now gets himself tangled up with the Cortland player, then takes a bump in the far corner, but he still gets it along to Hugh White in the near corner. Passes then deflected deep into the Cortland zone, but it was from the Binghamton side of center ice. So we get the icing call and a stoppage of play with 12:11 to go in regulation. 2-0 is the lead for the Bearcats.
Yeah, Binghamton is playing very well with the lead here. They are getting it deep, and they're still having good pressure. A lot of neutral zone play here, which is what you want for Binghamton. But Cortland has to win this draw and get some chances. Casulo
again with that play off the faceoff where he slides it through the opposing center's legs. This time it sets up a chance in front of the net, a rebound opportunity, two different chances. I don't know if the second rebound shot ended up in on goal. The crowd in front of the goaltender. Binghamton doing a good job of converging defensively, collapsing around their goaltender, giving him as much support as they possibly could on that play.
Right, that was a great block shot in front of the net on that second chance, or else you never know, they could have went in. So great block there, and that's what Binghamton has to keep doing, sell your body out.
A little bit less than 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Still a lot of work left to be done for the Binghamton defenders. Sebastian Henderson doing some of that work as he starts the breakout, getting it up to Todorovic. Todorovic across the blue line, but made that extra move before crossing the blue line, so that draws a teammate off sides. 11:48 now remaining in regulation, as our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. EnviousGameware.com. Go to that website to get your team a look to be envious of. Sarosi trying to push that one forward, but two Binghamton players on him making that difficult. Todorovic gets it free, but they're just off sides here on this play. That gives Bianchi a chance to play it through the neutral zone, but he can't get it through his fellow number 3, Bryce Wallace, playing it back up ice, and now Binghamton setting up shop here in the near corner. Grew plays it behind the net. Eventually it gets to Todorovic. Todorovic being pinned to the far boards as two different Cortland players over there trying to get that puck free. Grew, though, is the player that comes out of there as it ended up being a 2-on-2 battle. Redirected shot. Todorovic getting that one enough of a touch on it to redirect it, but he couldn't get it on goal. Sarosi with a man on him. Manages to clear the zone, but Bryce Wallace has some space here to get it back up ice. Chips it around Clifford, who was right there to harass him. Almost ended up being a turnover. Henderson doing some work here in the offensive zone. He's been a force offensively from his defensive position, either jumping into the play from the point position or just jumping up into the rush sometimes. And now that is Matthew Usinski letting a hard wrist shot go. Just couldn't quite get it down low enough to keep it under the crossbar. 10.5 to go in third period play as Binghamton continuing to play in the offensive zone. That's a really good recipe when you're playing with a 2-goal lead. Connecting on a pass to the far side. Now back to the near side. Migliorato looking for an option. Cross-ice pass. Then intercepted by Hurahan as he looks to get it up ice to Hammerly. Wallace getting over. Sorry, that was Perry getting over there before Hammerly could get to that loose puck. But it still comes free, and the shot's taken by Hurahan. Just couldn't get it on goal with the rolling puck. Out of the zone and into center ice, and now it's Matthew Usinski with a lane, some speed into the offensive zone, steps around one defender, draws the penalty on the play, as it was Joseph Morello hauling down Usinski just as he stepped around the defender, got himself free before he could take the shot away. And that's going to help the cause when you're protecting a lead. Now that you have the man advantage, it makes that 2-goal lead a little bit easier to protect as we're under 10 minutes.
Great individual play there by Usinski, going through a couple of guys and then drawing the penalty. But if you're Binghamton here, you just got to try to move the puck around, make sure you don't give up any cross-ice passes that could lead to breakaways, and just play a good defensive power play.
Is that the side of the strategy question you're gonna side on? You're gonna go with the make sure you don't do anything silly with the man advantage, as opposed to maybe go for the nail in the coffin here?
Right. I think you just like they just did. I think you just gotta keep getting shots on net. Make sure they don't get blocked, but keep getting shots on net and try to bang in rebounds. Definitely try to get that extra goal, but don't do anything silly.
Execute the power play, but don't go above and beyond and try to extend yourself too much.
Absolutely.
Pile up in the corner as there are 5 players there trying to get that puck free. Eventually it's Binghamton coming out of there with it, and now they get it back to the point. Henderson looking for an option as he walks the blue line, takes the shot with the screen set up in front of Norbro. He makes the save. I'm not sure he realized he did initially, kind of looked around a little bit after that shot came through, realizes that he eventually had it and gets the whistle. Now a minute 18 remaining in this Binghamton power play.
Binghamton is playing really well here on this power play so far. The first 40 seconds, they're battling for pucks down low. They're getting possession. They're getting it up top, and they're taking good shots.
Again, cleanly winning a faceoff, and now Skinner has a chance to walk the blue line. Tried to get a pass to Todorovic, but he's got Higgins on him. Todorovic gets it away from Higgins. 2 different players there as it's Franks that eventually skates it towards the far corner. Franks to Matthew Usinski, now back to Skinner at the point. Skinner's pass a little bit out of the reach of Usinski, but it ends up with Justin Franks here in the near corner. Franks now to the point. Todorovic to the midpoint. Skinner looking for that shooting lane. He eventually has one, just can't quite find the net with it. Circling the net now is Todorovic, as the entirety of this power play has been in the offensive zone. Minute 20 so far gone on the man advantage, as it's Matthew Usinski across to Todorovic. Shot on goal and a glove save made by Norbro. Little exchange of pleasantries there to the left of Norbro as Cortland makes a couple changes. 33 seconds remaining on the penalty kill.
Skinner, absolute beautiful job there from the point. He's looking for that lane. He's making sure it's not getting blocked, and that's what you need when you're up by 2. Very reliable player from the point there. Just the right guy you want on the power play.
Again winning the faceoff. Usinski now across to Skinner. Skinner gets it to the half wall. Todorovic back to Skinner at the point. 2 of them continue to play catch with it. Cross-ice pass to Usinski. Great setup there. Maybe it took an extra half a second for Matthew Usinski to settle that one down. That's exactly what allowed Norbro to get over and make sure he was in position to force that shot wide. Usinski, though, forces a turnover before Cortland can leave the zone. Another backdoor pass. That one, fortunate was Cortland not to have that one in the back of the net. Todorovic was wide open on the back door.
That was a great pass.
Penalty finally expires, but Cortland's still in the defensive zone here as they are back to 5-on-5, but Binghamton not letting up one bit. 7:45 and counting in regulation. Garnhart gets it out of the zone. Some assistance from Casulo to get it onto the blue line. Binghamton with a little bit of a slow change there, but no penalty coming as Usinski joins the play. Now put some pressure on here on the near side, but it's going to be Max Taylor and Casulo at least putting some pressure on for a moment here in the offensive zone, but not for long enough to get anything set up as McKendry comes back in the other direction. Drop pass to Andrew Usinski. Cullen from the midpoint takes the shot. There's a rebound in front of Norbro. There was a player there looking to stuff it in the back door, but it ended up falling in a place where Norbro was able to cover it up before White was able to get to that loose puck. Almost the final nail in the coffin there for Binghamton, but they can't find a way to get that rebound chance past the goaltender.
That was a close one. That one almost squeaked through. And if you're Binghamton, keep getting those shots from the point and keep getting it down low.
They managed to get a quick shot off the faceoff. 2 saves made by Norbro. Now he's got the crowd in front of him. Gets the blocker, gets that paddle up there to start pushing the Binghamton players away from him. That hasn't forced the crowd to disperse one bit, as finally they do relax a little bit. Good to see nothing too much coming of that exchange, but I think Norbro wanted it to be a whole lot less than it was.
Lots of shoves down there.
So the face-off going to be to the left of Norbro. 7:09 now remaining in regulation. Still that 2-0 lead for Binghamton. Cortland winning the face-off, now trying to work it up the near side. Hurahan just kind of redirects that one, not really seeing the defenseman backing out of the zone. That gives Binghamton the chance to just dump it in yet again. Hurahan gets this one up ice. Miklas trying to run it down, but the defenseman, Jack O'Brien, beats him to it. Really solid play there by the veteran defenseman, number 47, Jack O'Brien. Good play there with a man on him, doing exactly what he needed to do, not to force that at all, and get it up ice in a poised fashion.
Right, that was a very solid close-off there by O'Brien.
And
very good defensive play.
Yeah, now O'Brien leading the rush, gets it up to Andrew Usinski. That shot from the far side off the blocker of Norbro. As Cortland looks to get that puck back up ice, as they're going to have to start pushing the pace here a little bit, trailing by 2 as the clock's starting to become their enemy. Migliorado jumping up from his point position to lead the rush into the offensive zone. Strips that puck from the defenseman and then gets the cycle game going, as he's got 2 different forwards down there joining the play with him as well. Hoffler as well as number 97, Kyle Jason. Only able to set up that pressure for a moment. Now Clifford comes back in the opposite direction. Really nice close off on that side as the Binghamton defenseman playing physically and making sure that they're not giving those lanes in the offensive zone to the puck carriers. Sent in by Kyle Jason as we're under 6 minutes to go in regulation. The defenseman Letham stops in the far corner, now reverses course and gets it over to Sirosi here on the near side. Pass gets deflected, but it ends up on a teammate's stick, and now maybe a 2-on-1 setting up. Great play by Henderson as he slides across the ice, keeping that pass from getting across to Clifford. Sirosi now trying to get a tough angle shot through. 2 different shots there from distance, neither one of them able to get through the crowd. The Binghamton defenders doing their part, getting in those shooting lanes, whether or not it's a shot from the point or from the far wall. They're making sure that their goaltender only has to face the shots that they are allowing him to face.
And that's a big thing in playoffs. Keep soaking those pucks.
Across the blue line, that looked like it might have been offsides, but no call coming. Now they might get a chance out of it. The rebound is there, and what a save! Reaching up with the blocker arm is the goaltender Skidmore, and he makes a big stop to keep this one a 2-0 score.
By far the best save all night. Absolute robbery.
Looked like he was down and out on the play, and he just reaches up on his backside, gets both arms up in the air, and gets just enough of that one to deflect it to the corner.
Incredible.
Under 5 minutes to go now. Binghamton gets it working here in the offensive zone. Defenseman doesn't have a stick. Fortunate for Cortland as that puck ends up going up and out of play into the protective netting. 4:31 now remaining in regulation. And Binghamton avoiding a goal that would have drawn this one to within 1. Great save by the goaltender, Peter Skidmore. By far his best one of the game, maybe the best one of the entire game on either side of the rink.
Absolutely. That looked like he was down and out, and he just reached his arm out there and made a beautiful save to the corner.
Puck comes towards the Cortland net. Norbro plays it to the corner. The shot comes in from the corner. Todorovic letting that one go, and it goes off the pad of Norbro. And now it's going to be Hurahan trying to work it up ice. He gets it out of the zone but loses control of it. Puck is then sent into the Binghamton zone. Jack O'Brien into the far corner, stopping there, and now looking for a pass up the far wall. Slides it along to Franks. He just banks that one out of the zone. This one's going to go far enough for icing, but it won't be called an icing as it's Justin Grew winning the foot race, much to the delight of the Binghamton fans in the crowd. Pass from down low towards the slot. That one's off the mark, so Skidmore comes out of his net to play it. Gets that pass to White. White up to Grew here in the neutral zone. Grew across to Justin Franks, and now Franks gains the blue line. Around 1 defenseman, Franks to the net front. 2 different defenders closing off his lane there. He had to essentially go through 3 different guys to get the shot away, eventually lost control at the last moment. Justin Grew already has a goal here in third period play, sends that one into the offensive zone as he heads to the Binghamton bench for a change. Cullen now putting some pressure on in the far corner, 1-on-2, but he ends up coming out with the puck, drives it to the net front and takes a backhand shot. Norbro makes the save as now 36 shots on goal for Binghamton. Axel Norbro, much like last night, has been a very busy goaltender. In this game, he's made 34 stops to go along with his 55 saves last night. An outstanding performance by the Cortland netminder. It might not be enough, though, as Binghamton doing enough in this game to essentially wait out the hot goaltender.
Right. Norboro's really doing all he can tonight, and Cortland has had some good chances, but Skidmore's really been up to the task of all these 17 shots.
Timeout being taken on the ice. I'm going to guess that is a Cortland timeout. Didn't quite see the signal, but that seems to be the consensus up here in the press box. As our broadcast tonight brought to you by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. 412 Communications helps you get your voice above the fray. Build bridges between your brand and its clientele from broadcast to social, print to digital. The 412 team will put their 40-plus years of experience to work for you. Visit 412 Communications today to find out more about what they can do for your business. So 3:02 remaining in regulation. Cortland has their timeout that they have called here with 3:02 remaining. Referees blowing the whistles, signaling players to get back into the offensive zone for Binghamton, where this next faceoff will be coming. And Cortland starting to run out of time here in this one if their Cinderella story is going to continue in the UNYCHL playoffs.
Definitely probably see the winger stretching here. If you're Binghamton, make sure your defense steps off if you lose the draw and back up for these wings coming up the boards. Looks
like Cortland won the faceoff, but it ended up hitting the linesman in the skate. And now it's a battle for possession below the goal line. Andrew Usinski going to work there against two different players for Cortland. Eventually the Red Dragons clear the zone, but it finds the stick of Migliorado, and he sends it right back in. Setting it up now is Max Taylor. Taylor to Ravinsky. Ravinsky long pass in the neutral zone, but the defense there cutting off that lane very quickly. Nicholas Perry, as was mentioned there by Ronan, great step into the neutral zone. And now a turnover here in the offensive zone as Binghamton still going to work on the offensive side of things, not necessarily being satisfied with the 2-0 lead, knowing that the more difficulty they create for Cortland in their own end, the harder it is to create offense at the other end. Eventually, the Red Dragons get it into the offensive zone, but the shot doesn't get through, as again soaking that shot in this case is Sebastian Henderson. Cortland now with the net empty. Sent into the offensive zone by Letham. And this is going to be Clifford trying to hunt it down on the far side. He does get that puck free from Henderson. Henderson, though, regrouping and getting that puck up ice off the near glass. Ends up going into the Binghamton bench, so we get the stoppage in play. The faceoff will be in the Binghamton zone. Minute and 53 remaining in regulation.
How many blocked shots do you think there's been today by Binghamton, Aaron?
Well, there are 17 shots on goal for Cortland. I think you can probably say at least half of that number and block shots as well, not getting through.
Absolutely.
As that certainly has been a major focus for the Bearcats, is not only be in the proper positions defensively, but anytime you have a chance, get into that shooting lane.
They've been excellent blocking shots.
Long attempt for the empty net for Binghamton. Doesn't quite get to the other end of the rink. And now it's going to be Cortland looking to get it deep in the offensive zone, but that one's going to be an icing call as they let it go from just short of the center ice red line, and because of that, that means that Norbro has to hop back into the net. Going to make things that much more difficult for Cortland, trailing by 2 with a minute 36 remaining. Our broadcast tonight has been made possible by Buffalo Golf and Social, Western New York's leading indoor golf facility. Locations downtown and in Orchard Park. Book your next event with Buffalo Golf and Social. Stretch pass after the face-off. Now a foot race for it, but Jack O'Brien's the first one to it in the Binghamton zone, banking it off the near boards and at least getting it out of the zone, and that forces Norbro to stay in the net at the Cortland end. Norbro now heading for the bench as Mikolas sends it down low, looking for Bianchi. Played back up the near boards. Mikolas gets in that passing lane, but he can't keep control of it. And now Matthew Usinski getting the zone clear. The puck gets up on edge, so that one's not going to go for icing.
Great clear there.
Just enough of the roll of the puck to go in Binghamton's favor as we approach a minute to play in regulation. Mikolas trying to force a loose puck below the goal line. He gets the pass out in front. He's got Hammerly there, but another block shot. Justin Grew's got a goal in this game in this third period, and he just had a huge block shot as well. O'Brien trying to get it out of the zone by skating it out. He gets some support by a teammate. That was LaChance, who ended up poking it out with the stick. And now 40 seconds remaining in regulation as the Binghamton defense, again, following what they did last year in the AAU National Championship. They've always been a team that could score goals. It was their commitment to defense that allowed them to win the Nationals last year. And a huge save there as Skidmore makes the stop with the glove hand. And now we have a scramble in front of the net as that is Clifford tied up with the two defensemen there for Binghamton. Cooler heads prevailing eventually, but maybe seeing a little bit of the frustration ticking up from the Cortland side, and understandably so. What a save by Skidmore to keep this one a 2-0 hockey game.
Beautiful glove save. That was a great pass across from the right side to a wide open Cortland player, and just absolute snag there from Skidmore to keep a 2-goal lead.
A couple of penalties being handed out here. It is Hugh White and Clifford heading to the penalty box. A little bit of conversation as they go there. I'm going to guess on coincidental minors here, but we'll let the scoreboard tell us a little bit more clearly. 25.9 seconds on that scoreboard, so it's going to have to happen really quickly if it's going to come together for Cortland. They're going to have to get something right off the faceoff, but faceoff is not going to be in the Cortland offensive zone. It's going to come all the way back to the other end because it seems that they're guilty of something here. I'm going to guess that they took more penalties in this exchange. Yeah, they're 2 minutes up on the board for Cortland right now, so the extra penalty being handed out to Andrew Clifford. And so Norbro's going to have to leave the bench and go back into the net as the still too many players out there for Cortland. They had 6 skaters out there. They had the goaltender come back onto the ice. They still have 5. Finally getting the proper personnel as it's going to be quickly won by Todorovic, and he takes the shot right off the faceoff, only 3 seconds ticking away. Norbro being forced to make another save as 22.9 seconds now remaining in the game. Seems that Binghamton will get another shot at the UNYCHL championship. They've been unable to win one in their time in the league, but they seem to be knocking on the door here. 17 seconds away as they get it into the offensive zone again. Another hard shot on goal. That one just missing the net from Todorovic, but he might get another opportunity to let one go. Just over skates that one, and now Haldane skates it through the neutral zone with 5 seconds to play. One more good defensive play. Justin Grew making a strip there at the center ice red line. Good exclamation for a great defensive game from Binghamton.
Grew was my favorite player here tonight. He out-hustled countless icings. He had that beautiful goal, and he countless soak shots here tonight. It was just awesome. Awesome play here by Binghamton. They soaked. They had great offense. They had 36 shots on net. I think even more. I think they had around like 45 realistically. And it was just Skidmore stood on his head as well. It was great team play here by Binghamton.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. It's a full team win right there, from the goaltender to the defense to the forwards. They did it at all 3 zones of the ice, the full 200-foot game from the Binghamton Bearcats. And they essentially turned the tables on Cortland. Cortland winning 2-0 last night against Niagara. Tonight, it is Binghamton with the 2-0 shutout victory. 18 saves in the shutout for Peter Skidmore. And the Binghamton Bearcats will get a shot at the UNYCHL title tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Still have to figure out who their opponent will be in that game. Our nightcap will decide that. It will be Buffalo squaring off against St. Bonaventure in the other semifinal matchup. That game scheduled for an 8 o'clock warm-up. Face-off should be right around 8:25. Be sure to stay tuned for the Nickel City Hockey Network, as we will have live coverage of that matchup coming up in about an hour on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Thank you so much for joining our broadcast tonight. For color commentator Ronan Hoffmaster, producer Sean McHugh, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, my name is Aaron Elpern. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon on the Nickel City Hockey Network.